Chapter 2, Section 2, Babylonia and Assyria. Why do you think one country might decide to invade another country? Take a minute and come up with 2 or 3 reasons why this might happen. Don't forget to pause the video while you do this. Questions to think about as we study this section. Why did civilizations rise and fall in Mesopotamia? And 2, what characteristics describe the Babylonian and Assyrian empires? Key terms that are listed for you in your notes: empire, caravan, bazaar. Key people and places we'll see: Babylonia, Assyria, New Babylonian Empire, and Nebuchadnezzar II. King Sargon II of Assyria must have scowled when he heard the news. The nearby kingdoms of Urartu and Zerkrutu had joined forces against him. How dare they challenge the most powerful monarch in the world? In the summer of 714 BC, Sargon set out to muzzle the mouths of his enemies. The rebels were no match for the powerful Sargon. His armies quickly overcame the forces of Urartu and killed all who had resisted. The Assyrians howled with laughter when they saw the king of Urartu fleeing on an old horse. Sargon let him go. He knew that the survivors would serve him as a grim warning to others who might later be tempted to oppose the mighty Assyrians. The 2 empires of Mesopotamia. Sargon II, as we see here, was one of many kings who ruled Mesopotamia after the fall of Sumer. The history of Mesopotamia is filled with stories of conquest by one powerful warrior after another. This was a land worth taking. It brought great wealth to the army that could conquer it, but after winning it, each ruler became a target for another conqueror. The biggest and most important Mesopotamia civilizations were the empires of Babylonia and Assyria. An empire is an area of many territories and people that are controlled by one government. The beautiful city of Babylon was the center of the Babylonian Empire. This empire reached its height around 1750 BC. The Assyrians, who got their name from the northern city of Assur, began expanding their lands in the 1300s BC. By the 600s BC, they controlled a huge empire. It stretched from the Persian Gulf across the Fertile Crescent and through Egypt. The Babylonians and the Assyrians had 2 things in common. In their quest for riches, they were vicious warriors, and in the environment of their riches, they built grand cities where culture and learning were highly valued. The Babylonian Empire. A Babylonian king named Hammurabi created the Babylonian Empire by uniting the cities of Sumer. Then he conquered lands all the way to Asia Minor, the present-day country of Turkey, as you can see on the map here. A crossroads of trade. Babylon's location made it a crossroads of trade. Caravans, or groups of travelers coming and going from the cities of Sumer to the south and Akkad to the north, stopped in Babylon. In the city's bazaars, or markets, you could buy cotton cloth from India and spices from Egypt. Trade made Babylon rich. So did conquest. Wealth through conquest. A conqueror, if successful, reaped great rewards. In about 1760 BC, Hammurabi conquered the city of Mari, seen here. He seized Mari's war chariots, weapons, and tools, which were the best in the world, but all the wealth that Babylon gathered could not save it from conquest. By about 1600 BC, the empire first conquered by Hammurabi had shrunk and was finally destroyed. The Empire of the Assyrians. North of Babylon was a small kingdom of a few walled cities known as Assyria. Its capital, Nineveh, was a sleepy village on the Tigris River. Assyria, as you can see on this map, lay in an open land which other people could easily invade. Because they were constantly defending themselves, the Assyrians became skilled warriors. About 1365 BC, they decided the best method of defense was to attack. By 650 BC, Assyria had conquered a large empire. It stretched across the Fertile Crescent from the Nile River to the Persian Gulf. Assyria's contributions. The Assyrians were more than warriors. As Assyrian grew power, Nineveh became a city of great learning. Nineveh had a fabulous library that held thousands of clay tablets with writings from Sumer and Babylon. Because the Assyrians kept these records, we now know a great deal about life in early Mesopotamia. Most of all, however, the Assyrians were geniuses at waging war. They invented the battering ram, a powerful weapon on wheels that pounded city walls to rubble. Slingers hurled stones at the enemy. Expert archers were protected with helmets and armor. But the most feared part of the army were the armed charioteers who slashed their way through the enemy. Assyria overthrown. The Assyrians had few friends in the lands that they ruled. Conquered peoples attempted a number of rebellions against Assyrian rule. Two groups, the Medes and Chaldeans, joined together to smash the Assyrian Empire in 612 BC. Babylonia rises again. Under the Chaldeans, Babylon rose again. It became the center of an even more splendid kingdom, known as the New Babylonian Empire. Its greatest king was Nebuchadnezzar II. Nebuchadnezzar rebuilt the city of Babylon, which the Assyrians had destroyed. He put up massive walls around the city for protection. He also built a gigantic palace, decorated it with colored tiles. Carved on the tiles were plants, animals, birds, designs, and a boastful sentence by the king.
I am Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon.
Nebuchadnezzar's royal palace was built in several terraces that rose to the height of some 350 feet. It had a dazzling landscape of trees and gardens. According to legend, he built the gardens for his wife, who came from the high plateau and hated the dry plains of Mesopotamia. Under the Chaldeans, the New Babylonian Empire became a center of learning and science. Chaldean astronomers charted the paths of the stars and measured the length of a year that was only a few minutes different from the length modern scientists have calculated. And Chaldean farmers raised the flies which collect honey, which were wild bees. Like other Mesopotamian empires, the Chaldeans were open to attack by powerful neighbors. In 539 BC, the New Babylonian Empire fell, but the city of Babylon was spared. 3 questions to think about after reading the section or watching this video. Why did civilizations rise and fall in Mesopotamia? How did Babylon become rich? And what accomplishments is Assyria known for? Make sure to complete your notes and turn them in through the Google Classroom. We'll see you tomorrow.